Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies. In this episode we are going to finish off this reactor. Not much else to say, but just do it. The jetpack upgrade for the armor plating, I did it off camera. It's not anything too fancy, it doesn't really require a whole lot of complication. Pretty much straightforward. Make the thing and then read the tooltip on the jetpack on how to apply it. Yeah. I believe I have everything I need to finish off this. I really do hope I do. If anything, it might be like one casing off, I think. Potentially. Very, very potentially. Nope, I have 25. That's exactly enough to fill this in. You know, assuming I don't misplace blocks, of course. These reactor glass blocks, by the way, are pretty expensive. They each require a piece of 2 obsidian. Yeah, 2 obsidian per glass. And 1 lead. It's primarily their biggest price, well, along with the piece of reactor casing. The hardened glass is annoying to make when your obsidian generation is minimal. Let's go ahead and put the fuel rods down. And the control rods. Finally, let's fill this in on the top with reactor glass. For those that may be interested in doing either Agrarian Skies or checking out big reactors, this glass is not necessary. This entire thing could be encased in reactor casing. It really depends on what you want it to look like. Me having the glass actually makes it look better. Otherwise it's just going to be this giant square-ish blob of gray. And no one likes that. At least I don't. This setup, by the way, produces 7k RF per tick, something like that. Each one of these can store up to 100,000 RF internally. 100,000, I meant 10 mil. My bad. Alright, let me explain a bit more about this multi-block structure. It does have to be a cube. The smallest one you can make is 3x3. With enough space for 1 fuel rod, I believe. Don't quote me on that. The smallest might be 4x4. I actually don't remember what I read. Anyway, about the sizes, I mean, I remember how this works. These reactor ports, the yellow, marked for inlet, they will they are responsible for providing fuel to this thing. The fuel is yellorium ingots and yellorium blocks. If you happen to have mods installed that add additional... Wait, what? That's a weird recipe. That add additional uranium or other style of ingots like that, yellorium and those would be interchangeable for fuel. And there would be no difference between using uranium over yellorium, though. It would be the same, just a different fuel type. Walking around, ignoring the fact that this one is not blue. The blue, which when I clicked on that changes the appearance, indicates outlet mode. Each of these reactors creates a waste The waste is that's plutonium, cyanide. These can be processed into plutonium and then used for other things. Other than that, this is pretty much useless. Unless you wanted to go for the turbine powered ones. Which, Why would you ever want to make dust out of this? Who knows? So yeah, this is going to be the waste output. I might just put those to a nullifier or just put them into a barrel and then void it. So once it hits a certain point or caps out, it'll just keep accepting them, but then after that it'll just destroy them if the thing's filled. Over here is a power tap. As you may imagine, we put the power line here. Pretty self-explanatory, nothing special about that. You put power line to the power tap. That dot at the top will turn green if you actually do have something connected there. It doesn't have to be a cable. It could actually be hooked up directly to a energy cell, like one of those. Now, there is one thing I want to do before I actually activate this and go into detail about these, is I want to create redstone energy conduit. I have the shells made, but not the rest of it. What is it making? Oh. Of course it's making that. So you remember that obsidian complaint I was mentioning earlier about hardened glass? Yeah. That's what the redstone energy conduits need. Forgot about that. Forgot about that completely. Yeah, I do want to make redstone energy conduits because their max limit is 10k RF per tick. What is that? 10k? Yeah. 2.5 times more than the hardened energy? 2.5 or 25 times? I don't know, it's late. I'm trying to do math on camera. That never works out. Alright, how are these going? Alright, it's crafted a good amount of them. These will need to go through the fluid transposer with destabilized redstone. We get this by pulverizing redstone. Go figure. We need... how much do we need? 200 millibuckets per piece. And we have how much in here already? In the fluid transposer? 44 now, so we need twice that number in redstone dust. 44, so we need 88 pieces. Those can go on to the magma crucible. And we're going to start getting our first redstone energy conduits. The other thing I would like to make is these redstone energy cells. At least a couple of them. Primarily because they hold 10 million and can send and receive 2k RF per tick. It's a lot nicer dealing with that than 400. Especially again because I've been capping this out. Before I do, however, remove this power system, I do want to get enough redstone energy conduits, to replace all of these hardened energy hardened. I'm gonna go with hardened for this episode. Hardened energy conduits. And as far as I'm aware, I've probably made a couple stacks of that, so this is going to take a bit because I do need additional redstone. Speaking of additional redstone, did this make any more? It did not. It's missing obsidian, of course. Go figure. I was about to get its wish of a piece of obsidian. Alright, that's about done. It's running low on power. Yet another limitation of my current power system. Actually, if that's the case, AE might be failing or not. Guess not. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, actually, back when I first started doing the AE system. You see these drives here? They actually represent the ones that are in here on respectively, and where they're located here. The red dot means the thing is filled, all the bytes are used. The orange dot, or square, or whatever you want to call that, indicates all of the types are used. Types are the variety of items it can hold. So these each can hold up to 63 different types of items. However, each one can hold up to 1,024 bytes of any particular item. But that's bytes used portion that combines all the item types. So while one particular item could contain 1K of storage, that means only one type of item could be in that storage. Hope I'm making myself clear on that. Say if you had 1,000 cobblestone and that filled this one drive up, you would have the 1K storage used. You would not be able to add sand or anything to that same drive. However, if you had a 500 sand and 500 cobblestone, that would fit in one drive just fine. Assuming the bytes are treated equally between those two blocks, of course. Which I believe they are, but don't quote me on that. Alright, I'm going to... I don't know what I'm going to do. I gotta wait for redstone to be generated for my sieve portion. Let's take a look at the quest book. See if there's actually anything here we can do. We could actually do this one pretty well. We can easily get the glass. The clear glass isn't too hard either. Punch tree, get blisters, 100,000 oak wood. We could do this one too, actually. I actually changed out my tree farm up there to use different tree types, but it wouldn't be hard to tell it to go back to using oak. What did this get stuck on? Jungle wood? Jungle wood can go here for now. Yeah, right now I have it doing jungle and fuse wood. That's what all these are. Pretty sure if I mine this manually it would explode, and I'd rather not get killed by it. Let's see how much oak wood we have. 3,442. It's honestly not that much. Well, let's look at the rest of the quests. Pushing it, we need 100 pistons. That wouldn't be too difficult to do, but we would need quite a bit of iron. This one I could actually do. Sands of Time. Double compressed sand 100. Let's see. Let's go under... Is there anything under bragging rights we could do? Thermal expansion. We've actually done quite a bit of this, apparently. I made that already. Apparently I didn't pick that up. I also made that one. It didn't pick that up. These other ones, that nullifier I've made, but the other ones I have not. It's good to know. I'm going to cut here. I haven't seen anything I really want to do at the moment. I would like to do more of the Thalmcraft and blood magic portion, but I do want to get this power system running. And for that, I need to make a bunch of, get a bunch of redstone. make redstone energy conduits, the redstone energy cells, and yeah, once all that's ready, I'll be back, probably with most of it set up, and we can take a closer look at the big reactors mod, reactor portion of what this interface means. Alright, we're back. Welcome back, guys. It's actually been the following day now on the previous segment. I've been doing a lot of work, actually been also getting a ton of ores that I have to process. Speaking of, what's left in here? Nothing. Let me go ahead and turn this lever off and throw some stuff in there. I did end up getting all of the redstone energy conduits I need and installed. Excuse me, jeez, throat, stop it. Installed the network of redstone energy conduits needed. Was also able to actually make a couple resonant energy cells. I figured out I actually did have the materials necessary to make these. It just didn't seem obviously apparent to me. So I got a couple of those. I do have one redstone energy cell here. This is just holding backup energy until I get this thing running. Which, now that I have redstone energy conduits running everywhere, we can actually start on getting this running. For that, we need yellorium ingots. What do I have for yellorium ingots? Quite a bit. I'm actually going to make the block form, just because they do last a lot longer, and it's easier to fill it in with yellorium blocks than not. So I'm going to put these in. You'll see it drop down by 11 already. That's because it filled up those rods there. Now, you'll notice that this is not doing anything at the moment. It's because it's offline. I have to hit activate reactor. Before we do that, though, let me go over some of these interfaces. The information here. The core temperature, as you can see, temperature inside the reactor core. Higher temperatures increase fuel burnup, which brings me to this. Fuel burnup rate, the rate at which fuel is fissioned into waste in the core. The fuel would be the yellorium, and this status here can give me an idea of how much yellorium is in there. Right now it's 99% full, and none of it is depleted. You can also see how many fuel rods, max capacity of fuel, how much fuel is in there, what in millibuckets, the waste of millibuckets, and the total amount of used space from the capacity. This here is the energy output in RF per tick. If this reaches over 1,000, it will go to KI-RF, or kilo redstone flux. This is actually very important thing. Fuel reactivity. How heavily irradiated the core is, higher levels of irradiation reduce fuel burnup. Essentially meaning this is a efficiency marker. The higher this is, the better, because you're still going to produce a lot of energy at a lower fuel burn. The casing heat increases the energy output and cooling conversion. Cooling conversion is not entirely necessary for this particular setup. This is a passively cooled. There's also an actively cooled, which uses the turbine that I had mentioned last episode or earlier this episode. Like I said, it's been a day, so I don't remember what I mentioned in the last segment 100%. The core heat. Heat of the reactor's fuel. High heat raises fuel usage. Core heat is transferred to the casing, therefore transfer rate is based on the design of the reactor's interior. The core heat is the most important thing when designing this. Essentially, if that value goes up super high, your fuel burnup rate is going to be stupidly high. I actually have a few designs that created, like 15k RF per tick, but the fuel burnup rate was like 0.8 millibuckets per tick. So it was, while it was a high power output, it just wasn't efficient, and that was because of the core heat. This last one is the energy buffer, and as we can see, it's empty. Oh, and as I had mentioned in the previous segment, actually, when this is connected, that dot turns green. Apparently that inner portion as well turns green, so let me remove that, and you see it goes back to red. If I put it back there, it goes to green. I never noticed that on the inner ring there. I knew about it on the top, though. Alright, so let's fire this baby up. Activate reactor. As you can see, the core heat is going really high. As the casing heat increases because of that, we are getting more and more power output. The fuel reactivity is going pretty good. The energy buffer is not increasing because it does have an outlet. We are stopping at about 4.5 kRF per tick. I believe I had mentioned that this would output about 8 kRF per tick. That is with one major but minor change. Right now, its cooling system is air. If anyone knows about heat and like cooking, for example, with heat, you'll know that it takes forever for things to cool down, unless the weather is also pretty cold, or the air around is pretty cold. However, Minecraft air doesn't really have a temperature, and it's just kind of sucky for cooling this. One thing that is great for cooling this is Resident Ender. So we can actually make that. However, as you may have noticed, actually, let me head back over here. All those machines I had here are gone. That's because I wanted to keep this room clean. It was meant to be a power room and not an automation room. I have stored all of those items into this chest. Yep, it's all here. Well, except for those two aren't exactly part of it. Neither is that, or that, but the rest of it is there. Let me actually put these things away and make some stone bricks. And 9 stacks should be fine. We are going to come down here and finish up this room a bit. Also, those walls, by the way, for the reactor room are all micro-blocked. It was to save on material and allow me to have more room for the automation room down here. I won't fill that in because I'm going to have a wall here as well. Oh, looks like it's going to be dark there, so we're going to put a torch. Let's see, did this come out all the way? Yes, it did. By all the way, I mean one block off, because this is where the wall would go. Alrighty, extending it this way. We need one more row, and apparently we need a lot more torches down here. Let's expand this out as well. Builder's wand, man, it's so useful. So very useful. Alright, essentially we have all of this room to automate things now. So let me head on up. Oh, we only used about 2.5 stacks of stone bricks for that. That was a lot less than I had imagined. And let us grab these things. Grab that and that. We need to figure out a way to get the power line over to here. If I'm not mistaken, yep, there it is. So if we started over here with the power, we can make this line our power setup for the instruments, aka machines. Let's head on up here and fall off the world. Thank God for the jetpack. Whoops. You know what? We could actually put this back one on this wall. Would that be beneficial? I wonder. Go away. Stupid items. Anyway, like I was saying, we could put that back one actually. No, I'll leave this for now. If I do end up wanting to move it back one, I can, but let's just get this on with. So instead of doing the resonant ender portion for that, we are going to make the automation system a bit better down here. And because of that, we are going to be able to do a lot more things. Let's see, where is that ME cable at? There isn't one, but we can attach one here. Yep. So let me go ahead and put these machines out really quick. The Magma Crucible and this one go hand in hand. Reconfigured. That one goes there. This one's going to go here, and this one here. I'll need to make more ME interfaces for the rest of these as well. Let's see. One raw plastic from one raw rubber, charcoal from oak, toast from bread, graphite from coal. Actually, I don't think we need that one anymore. Obsidian from pulverized. That would be the pulverizer. Silicon with Certus quartz dust. Clay from hardened clay. Or hardened clay from clay. That was said backwards. These two are for the induction smelter. One raw rubber gives one rubber bar. That goes with the pulverizer as well, along with that one. That one goes here, and that one goes here. Alright, for the pulverizer we had that. That and that. And this. That stays out, and that one goes to the induction smelter. So these ME interfaces are going to input hiccup, excuse me, into whatever side they're in. For this case, it's the top of the induction smelter. Same goes for all of these machines. Now, I do need to rotate these so that one side is able to be the output, because right now you can't output from the face of the block. So, oh right, the induction smelter has so many options. Alrighty, now to rotate these. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we need to put the ME cables into place. Alright, that one's connected. We can just temporarily hook these up. This should be getting power as well. Now we need the import buses. Why didn't those stack? ME precision import bus. Huh, that's weird. I can go here, here, and this one here. And we need at least one cable connecting these up. For now, that can be that way. We also need one here eventually, and some more over there. So now this should be hooked up, and we have those things automated again. And let me check the length of this episode really quick, because I know we had about 10 minutes left from the previous segment. And holy crap, there's a creeper. Where did you spawn from? Where did you spawn from? I've actually noticed that a few times. I'll have these random mobs spawn, but I've looked around and I can't find a dark spot. Like, I don't see a dark spot anywhere. I do need to keep an eye on my jetpack energy and not run into the cactus. My first thought was I thought I missed something back here, so I had spammed a bunch of torches, but I don't know. Let me check that episode length, and then we'll be back, and I might talk about these filing cabinets. We're back, and I'm going to have to wrap this episode up. I wanted to come check out the resonant energy cells here. As we can see, they're filling up pretty fast. This is just from the very low 4.4K RF per tick output. Let me also go over this. As we can see now, as this has been making waste, you can see the fuel has gone down and the depleted number has gone up, or the waste. If I go over here, we should be able to find an ingot? No, not yet, huh? Oh, it went there. Why is that? Why did it go here? Alright, so we've had 3 ingots worth of waste created. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode, we'll go over creating the resonant ender buckets to put in there, as well as going over some of the automation aspects, I guess. I do want to automate some more things, really just because I don't want to do them all. And I'm going to have to smelt up a bunch of ores. As you can see here, I have a ton. So on this note, I'm going to end the episode here, and I will see you guys next time.